Hey, good morning, class. Welcome in. We are about to start our next unit, which is Chapter 8, and we're going to start taking a look at business organizations, corporations, franchises, all of these things that are essentially going to be very entrepreneurial related. So, we're going to look at situations where we're going to focus on our small business unit. So, with that being said, we want to dive into our discussion today, and we'll start again with Chapter 8, Section 1 on business organizations. Okay, so starting a business. So understand this. Every business that's ever been started has to start with something. It has to start with an idea. So again, it starts from scratch. It starts with just a thought, just a chance, a risk, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And this is essentially where, again, we start putting things in motion. You have that idea, you let it grow, you let it prosper, and that's what we're looking at with a business. Now, a person that starts his or her own business, as we know, is an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs, again, have a big responsibility. They organize, they manage, and they understand the risks of the business. To start, entrepreneurs must understand the factors of production. So we'll revisit these real quick. We take a look at the factors of production here. And again, in this instance, we're looking at number one, natural resources, so wind, water, land, something that you can build off or build around. Capital, that capital is used for machinery, your tools, your technology. Again, the capital being the machines to make the products. All right, human resources, your labor, quantity, your skills, everything that's being put into that particular business. And then on all of this, you have entrepreneurship. So you've got that leadership, you've got that creative mindset, you've got risk management, you've got ingenuity. All right, so you have to be kind of the conductor of the orchestra. You've got to be able to conduct, compose, and move things around when needed. You are running the show. It is your show to run, and again, that is a heavy responsibility. Okay, so understand this. As businesses get started, you're not going to necessarily have, $1 million to start with. All right, there are certain factors and certain places that people can go for help to get started up. Businesses typically require financial assistance right at the start. Okay, there are some sources of help. So again, number one is Small Business Administration. These are administrations that are designed to help out small businesses. You have number two, local colleges or universities. So if you are, college aged and you have an idea to run a small business as you're in school, again, your local college, your local university could be a good source for you to grow your business. You have the local Department of Commerce. So if you were to set up shop in, say, downtown Dexter, you would want to work with that local department, get a feel for how things are going, and hopefully get some support from them. Internet-based business sites. So again, with 2021 and beyond, we are looking at everything going online. So the internet is a great place to go for that support and for that help, whether it be a loan, whether it be something where you can access that people are able to also navigate and access. But the internet, again, as we'll take a look at here in just a moment, is going to help out with essentially everything. And lastly, we have something called a small business incubator. So what's a small business incubator? Well, let's take a look at this one a little bit more in depth. Again, small business incubators are government funded agencies that will aid your startup. So startups are, again, the beginning business enterprise. This is where you start, and incubators tend to provide assistance in economically challenged areas and are meant for job growth and economic prosperity. So those incubators will help out in places that maybe are having a little bit of trouble or downturn economically speaking. So this incubator, again, could be, as we're kind of now back in the upswing after the pandemic, incubators are going to help out in a lot of economically challenged areas. And again, as we know, over the last year and a half, a lot of these areas have been stricken with some economic problems. So incubators are a great place to also start that small business. Now, again, we want to revisit the internet. The internet really is going to be everything. If you're going to be anybody, 2021 and beyond, you've got to get online. With the growth of the internet, again, it's easier than ever to spread the word on your company. Now, small business owners can make their own websites, they can develop their own job applications, they can reach out to advertisers, they can list products and prices, and get customer feedback. So the internet is just such a helpful tool. We took a look at that with the documentary. Remember, again, they were really kind of stuck in the Stone Age. They did not have that internet access for menu, for online deliveries, and Landa's Pizza was able to shift. And that was one of the positives out of that documentary, is that, hey, we're going to start looking at working with online assistants. And this online assistance really, really helped out their company, and it can help out your company too. Now, understand this. With every business, there are going to be expenses, all right? In order to make money, you got to spend money, okay? That's an age-old saying. So every new business will have to endure the wrath of those expenses, all right? In order to make money, business owners are going to have to take a look at spending money on equipment, on taxes, on wages, on your insurance, on bills, etc. first. That's got to be taken care of first. So yes, you might make a lot of money in one day, but that money is not your profit yet. You've got to make sure you take care of your costs first. To keep track, again, what you want to do is you want to essentially include an inventory. An inventory is essential to maintain all of your supplies and costs, and receipts are a must, okay? So again, IRS, those kind of agencies are going to look into things. You want to make sure you have all of your numbers in your books, and you want to make sure those are accurate and good to go, okay? So again, it's not easy, and things are going to cost a lot of money. And if you are, say, a restaurant and need to upgrade, you got to get new stoves, you got to get new cooking surfaces. That's gonna be some money. You're gonna have to spend some money. So again, it's not a cakewalk, and there are challenges with expenses. Now, advertising. Okay, advertising is crucial in making the sales pitch for your business. Why would a customer purchase a product if they have no idea what the product is? Okay, so advertising right now, again, is fueled by TV, internet, radio, magazines, newspapers still, believe it or not, social media, and your billboards. So again, any way to advertise, as you know, again, social media is probably the number one spot nowadays. Has to be. Whether it be Facebook, whether it be Instagram, whether it be TikTok, whether it be other apps like Snapchat, you have ads everywhere. And this is going to be that gateway. It's going to be, oh, I see this product on Instagram. Yeah, I'm really curious. I'm interested. I'm going to take a look at it. I might buy it. You're going to have all these things for successful companies. So successful companies are going to advertise. They're going to have good advertising campaigns. If you don't have good advertising strategy, you can't pitch your product, and you can't effectively discuss or talk about what your product is all about or your service, then you're going to fall behind. You're going to struggle. So what's interesting is, your generation, my generation, I think advertising, that's kind of our wheelhouse. But the older generations, the people that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they struggle with this concept. They struggle with not being able to put ads in a newspaper because newspapers are pretty much extinct. So again, making that right ad and making the right sales pitch across the board, it's critical. If you can't do this, your business is going to suffer. Okay, now risk. As we talked about, risk is such a key dynamic for being a small business owner. All new businesses are going to have to take risks in order to succeed. Okay, risk management is a key component for an entrepreneur. All right, you've got to be willing to say, hey, yep, we're going to take this chance. We're going to start this new product line. We're going to start this new hamburger line. We're going to start this new drink. We're going to do all these kind of things. You've got to be able to do that. And again, you're going to have some hits. You're going to have some misses. Now, an example here, again, if McDonald's creates a new burger, all right, how can we here at Wendy's compete and dominate the fast food market? So we look at that new burger, say it's got mushrooms and Swiss on it. We say, okay, we're going to make a jalapeno burger. We're going to make it more spicy. We're going to advertise that way. This happens all the time, okay? Take a look at what Wendy's has done in terms of breakfast, right? They've decided to create a breakfast to compete with McDonald's breakfast, which had dominated fast food breakfast for decades. Everybody went to McDonald's. Nobody went to Burger King for fast food. But now there's a very appealing option with Wendy's. Wendy's took that risk, okay? Now, as we know, some risks will pay off. Others will fail miserably. The two that I always bring up, again, the iPhone and the iPod, that iLine by Apple in the early 2000s, really, again, propelled them to new heights. Because in the early 2000s, when I was in middle school and high school, Apple was on the verge of collapse. They were struggling. They were having a hard time, especially competing with PC. But they create the iPod first, and then that creates the iPad, the iPhone, and just, you guys know the history. It's unreal. Pays off. Now, the other risk on the other side of things, again, we always talk about New Coke in the 80s. They essentially changed the formula. They changed the classic taste, and people were furious. And New Coke failed, and Coca-Cola itself was in a lot of trouble, struggled with competitors. Pepsi, RC Cola, they started taking over, and now all of a sudden we see Coca-Cola, even in today's terms, it'll say Coca-Cola Classic. Why? Because it goes back to the classic formula and not the one they tried in the 80s. So that risk failed. And you might see some examples. You might see some things nowadays where things either paid off or really did not pay off at all. Okay, to wrap up our discussion today, we want to look at keys to success, all right? So again, we have kind of this pyramid here, and again, think about your workplace. If you know that you already have a job, whether you're in retail, whether you're in fast food, success, again, is going to combine a lot of things. First thing is productivity. You want to have that productivity. You want to be able to be productive, not stagnant, always working to do well. If you work hard, again, usually that will pay off. A commitment. You want to have commitment to a particular cause. So you want to commit to your small business. You want to make sure that it's not half in, half out, that you're not, kind of loosey-goosey with it, all right? You're committed fully. You say, listen, all right, I started this. I took a risk. I'm going to go through with it. We're going to see how things go. Leadership. You know what a good boss looks like. You know what a bad boss looks like. It makes a difference. Being a good leader and having those good skills, communication skills, being to work with not only your customers, but also your employees. That is key in being a good leader, okay? Marketing, again, being able to market your product, being able to market your service, that is a huge key, and you've got to be able to stay up with it. You've got to be able to adapt and adjust when necessary. Teamwork, again, having a good team, having a good small business crew, having people in roles that you trust, that they can come in, do some good work, and benefit people across the board, not only customers, but your community. All right, you want to have that good teamwork. You want to have quality. You want to have a quality product or a quality service. You want to maintain that quality. Some businesses, as you know, have been around for decades because they've been able to maintain good quality across the board in what they're making and what they're doing. A vision. You want to have that vision. You want to have your eyes set on the prize, okay? You want to make sure you have a good vision. You want to make sure that you're taking care of not only yourself, but if you decide to start a family, you're taking care of them, and you're taking care of the people around you. And that's a big thing that small businesses can do. And then sales, again, that's kind of what happens, all right? The money starts coming in, and that's where you can have that flexibility. That's where you can do some things as you start making things work, and you start making those sales, and you start making a profit, okay? And then again, all that blended together, you're going to see yourself finding some success, okay? But it's always key to adapt and adjust and evolve because if you don't, again, you're going to have a hard time and you're going to fall behind. And that's the reality of small business. It is a competitive market. It is dog eat dog. It is going to be a situation where it is not pretty. In competitive markets, you got to stay on top of things. Otherwise, you'll fall behind and you will lose in that competition, okay? All right, guys, so again, kind of an intro here to some business operations. We'll take a look at some more things later on this week, and we're going to continue building our businesses. If you have questions, let me know. We're going to set, for the at-home crew, we're going to set up some office hours this week so I can get some updates as to how things are going. All right? Thank you so much for checking in. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.